Yeah.
I wouldn't be standing alone tonight.
Look at that. Oh! And I landed it. There you go. See?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be standing alone tonight.
We wandering off and shit, dog.
Wouldn't be standing
Yeah. Finish my cup, then post.
Today I'm going to be doing my final thoughts, final review of the Victory BLX or the Victory X. FS Racing Victory X is what people call it, but there is a BL there. And the other Victory is called the Victory BL. As you know, this actually comes with paddle tires, which is really cool. It's fully waterproof from the factory. You can watch videos on this, skimming over lakes and ponds and whatever have you. It's plenty powerful in stock form, and the only reason I'm running these is because there's not much places for me to run paddles. But these are 1/8 scale buggy wheels and tires on 17 millimeter hexes. So these are eBay 1/8 scale buggy wheels and tires are $20. And I'm not sure who makes these. Might be K-Force Racing, but I'm not sure. And they do great. The tread pattern's good. They actually do. They've held up great. It handles really good with these. As it's a little bit wider. The stance is a little bit wider with these because of the hexes, and it does great. The paddle tires that come with this are really nice. I'll grab them in a minute and show them to you as well. Now, the only complaint I've had about this entire rig is that the body is just thin. I mean, the body's not thin, but it's the PVC style body, so you're going to get cracks. Even after Gorilla taped, I still got a little bit of cracks here in the back. Nothing major, but it's not the strongest body. It looks good, but it's not the strongest body. Other than that, out of the box, this thing is really actually a great rig. It's geared decently. It's not, you have no heating issues. This one comes with a slipper clutch. As you know, this was sold by Helion as the Invictus, but it did not come with the slipper clutch, and it came with a nickel metal. This one actually comes with a 6000 mAh 60C 3S LiPo, which is really cool. I'll grab that in a second too. Of course, I've got them taped up, so you won't be able to read it. I think they're called leopards maybe, or something like that. Look at my previous video, you'll see. Anyway, at the moment, this one is not fully waterproof because I'm running a splash-proof OC Day 80 amp because I wanted that extra power, and I'm not going in the rain or the snow at the moment. As you know, the stock ESC is a Hobbywing 10 BL50, which is waterproof, and the motor is a 3650 3215 kV. And this is I'm not sure I think it's a 9 kg servo with a metal casing, metal heatsink casing servo. And stock gearing I think is a 14 tooth or 15, and I'm running a 17 tooth on here right now. But all in all, this is a really great rig. The suspension's good out of the box. Everything's tuned really well. The CVDs are decent. These dog bones, they held up fine. The bumpers, they're pretty good bumpers. And the cool thing is RPM makes parts too. And you might get a little bit of well, yeah, not too much play in these at all. These have no play. But the FS Racing Victory BL has a little bit of play, and it's on the same chassis as the FS Racing Marauder, which would be the Dominus. And RPM makes their arms a few millimeters bigger to take out any of that play. Because yeah, this one doesn't really have any play. But the The Victory BL does. Anyway, it's a double wishbone pivot ball suspension in the front with CVDs. This comes apart really easy. You don't have to take all this off on the bottom to get to your diffs. I know I was watching Gary and he took this all apart. I think it was Gary and it was Tom Trax. They took the whole thing apart to get to their diff, and you don't have to. To get to the diff, you just have to you take these screws apart and it pops right off. As you can see, it's split. It's split this way. So a few screws here. You can leave your suspension on, and you lift this up, and you're at your diff. Everything's really simple on this. Changing pinion's really easy. You've got this little dust cover here. You pop that off. Boom, you're right at all your gears. It's got the quick adjustment motor mounts like the other Helions have, and other FS Racing and Traxxas uses something similar. So it's a really cool design. It's made out of that special nylon. I think it's called like PA 66 or something like that. I'll look that up and I'll put it in the description. P66 nylon. It's a special nylon blend. It's strong. Really good stuff. Waterproof receiver box. With this setup, I had a fan. It wasn't really the right fan, but it's mounted on there. It ain't going nowhere. I had to use a fan from one of my old ESCs. Yeah, this thing was $185 plus shipping, which was only a few bucks. And I got it from Banggood America, which is they have a warehouse in LA. It was here in 2 days. So under $200, brushless, waterproof, paddle tires. It comes with a decent radio. These are GT6s with their Fly Sky. It's pretty much a Fly Sky GT6, and it runs a Fly Sky receiver, which is really good. And like I was saying, RPM makes parts for this one. I really don't think you need it besides maybe bumpers eventually. But on the Victory BL, RPM parts might be a better option. I'm looking at those. Also, you can get the metal upgrades. All the metal upgrades, you can get those on Banggood. You know, if you want to go metal arms or metal what have you. But this one's got the full metal suspension, and I don't think the Helion did. The Helion came with composite suspension, which isn't a bad thing if they're tuned correctly, but these ones just came with a really nice suspension. So all in all, I have zero complaints about this. People were having trouble with the original models with the diffs, but FS Racing shimmed the diffs on their newer models, and I haven't had an issue. The one thing I can say is the ESC is set, the brakes are set far too strong. I think they're at 75% from the factory. So when you're hauling ass at 50 miles an hour and you touch those brakes, you tap them, it's going to, whoom, indo right over. The Helion was the same way. And I'm watching the reviews of the Rival, and people are saying the same thing. JT's like, these brakes, and a couple people were saying that the brakes were just too touchy from the factory. So, you know, that's also hard on your gears as well, because if you're doing 45, 55 miles an hour and you hit the brakes and they lock on you, you got to remember you're locking up all these gears and the gears in your diff as well, your ring gear and your pinion gear. And it's going to slide. So that will eat up your gears eventually. And so one of the first things I did on this was turn the brakes down, and then eventually I changed out this ESC. But that's not really a complaint. It's more of my preference. But most people driving would realize, you know. Now, if you're just ramping it, but when you're bashing and you're full speeding and you're hitting turns and corners and doing what have you, then too much brakes will flip you over, or it will nose you over. Now, if you're just full speed into a ramp, boom, and then you hit your brakes to do stunts, then yeah, you want more brakes. But that's braking in the air, and I'm talking about braking on the surface. Anyway, so price point is a 10. Durability is about a 9. I haven't had any brakes, but just from what other people have said about having problems with their discs from before, I guess I'll give it a 9. But these dips are shim, so I have no issue. whatsoever. The looks there, I like the looks. You know, the system, it's got a decent, takes four. It's got good range, foam. It's waterproof. This thing runs on water, snow. I got to give this a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best rigs I've had for the price. And I really like it. So this is going to get a 9 out of 10. If it came with paddles and then some tires like this, or some kind of 2.8 like monster truck wheel and tire maybe, it would be a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Because for under $200, you're never going to get a rig this good. I mean, I come across some of the best rigs for the best price, but brushless with a 3S 6000. It's got an enclosed drive shaft. It's got full metal diffs, front and rear, and they've been shimmed. You got your servo down there. It's fully waterproof. Great stuff. Okay, here's the paddles it comes with right here. And they're very similar in size. They're only a little bit taller because of the paddle, but they're basically the same, so it was perfect with these. Anyway, here's the batteries it comes with, and of course I have mine taped up, but that's a 6060 C3S battery. It's huge. You have to put it in like that. I mean, it's probably a $50 battery, and you get it for free with this. And if you had bought the Helion version, you would get a nickel metal. I think it's a 7-cell at least, but still. Buying from the OEM sometimes is better. You can save money, and you can get better electronics and better stuff. Batteries, of course. So for $190, brushless with a 3S, paddle tires, fully waterproof, I have no complaints except for the body. That you know what? Yeah, I got to give it. I got to take another half a point for this body. So 8.5 out of 10. Just half a point for the body, and maybe a point because you're stuck with paddle tires, and some people might shy away from this because it only has paddle tires. You know, if you're not in a paddle tire friendly environment, which would be like lakes or water, streams or snow or sand. I mean, I've got some sand around here, so I'm gonna probably try to take these into some sandy areas. I know a spot that's got like a volleyball court. Maybe I'll take it there. Or I'm going to take one of my rigs there for sure. I'm not sure which one yet. Anyway, so 8.5. If it came with it would be a 9.5 if it came with proper wheels and tires stock, because most people are going to have to buy some proper wheels and tires. So if this is like your first RC, plan on buying this, then plan on buying some proper wheels and tires. You don't necessarily have to get these 8-scale buggy wheels and tires. You can go ahead and get some HSP MTs with a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch offset for $20, $25 and throw them on and it'd be fine. Or of course some nice Duratrack lockups or something like that if you want to spend $60. But anyways, it's a great deal. 8.5 out of 10. Go ahead and buy one, guys. You will not be mad at yourself whatsoever. Under $200, and this is, you get a 6,000 mile 60C. You can't beat that. People who run lipos a lot, I mean, getting a battery that big from a RTR is almost unheard of. So, FS Racing, guys. They make 8-scale stuff. Force RC would import their 8-scale stuff. Helion was importing their 10-scale stuff. They make quality stuff, guys. Straight up. So check them out. All right. Peace.